Hi there, my name is Mark. Today we're going to take a look at how we can create a shortcut that exists in our menu bar for macOS. It's going to enable us to define the image type when we take a screenshot. By default, it's a ping, but what if you wanted a PDF or a JPEG? There's no way to change this within system settings or within the screenshot UI. We need to be able to edit a preference list file, or plist for short. This file is located within your home library preferences path. And even if you can access this file, you can't edit it out of the box because it's in binary format. Luckily, there is a shell utility called defaults that will enable us to easily read and write to this file. Then we can take this, build it in to our shortcut so you won't have to access the terminal just to change the image type for your screenshots. So let's go ahead and get started in building our shortcut. Let's take a look at what we're going to build. Up here in the menu bar, we see we have this shortcut called screenshot type. We get this menu where we can choose the type of image that will be saved when we take that screenshot. So that's what we're going to build. Now, as I said earlier, we can't change this preference within system settings. I mean, there's just too many settings to include in here, and this didn't make the cut. But let me show you one that did, and that is the position of the dock on the screen. So right now, by default, it's bottom, but I'm going to change that to right. So where is this information being stored in macOS, the orientation of that dock? Well, it's within the library preferences path, but I don't see library in my home folder. But watch this move. Option key reveals the hidden library. So there it is. Now there's another way to access this. We can go back up here to our home folder, and then we're going to reveal those hidden files and folders by going Shift Command dot. And there it is, our library folder. Let's go ahead, navigate into there. We're looking for the preferences folder, and here we will find all those com.apple preference list files. We want com.apple.dock, and within here we have the key that we're after, which is the orientation of the dock, and right now it has a value of right. Let's go back into system settings, and we're going to change that value of the position on screen from right to bottom. Let's go ahead and see if that dock plist file updated. Yes, under orientation, it now has a value of bottom. Now we did find the location of this file, but we're not able to edit it. So I just opened up a text editor here and I go locate that file, and this is what it looks like. It's a binary file, so I can't edit it in its current format. Of course, we could use plutil to convert this binary into an editable XML. However, we are going to be making use of the utility defaults instead, which will enable us to read and write to this file. So let's go defaults, read, and then give it the name of the plist file. And it just returns everything. But we're really only interested in that one key, which is orientation. So what I can do is use defaults read com.apple.dock and then give it the key that I'm interested in, which is orientation. And this will return bottom. So exactly as expected. Let's go ahead now and see if we can go ahead and change this within preferences to right. What happens if we try and read this now? Notice that it's updated exactly as expected to right. But can we change it using the defaults utility? Yes, we can use defaults right, give it com.apple.dock. We're going to take the key of orientation, give it a value of bottom, and let's go ahead and read it. And there it is, bottom. But wait. Yeah, the dock is still to the right. Let's go ahead and check that plist file, orientation, bottom. But the dock is still to the right. It just needs a little bit of encouragement here. Let's go back into the terminal. We're going to give this a kill all dock. And there it is. It is back on the bottom. It is now time to dig into that screen capture plist file. So let's go try and find it here in our preferences. We're going to go down a little bit there, and there it is. com.apple.screenCapture plist file. We have found the key that we're interested in here, which is type, and it's currently set to a value of PDF. Let's go ahead, open up Terminal so that we can make use of our defaults utility. First, we're going to read it. Let me just go ahead, clear. So defaults, read, going to give it that com.apple.screenCapture, then provide it the key, which in this case is type. And as expected, it returns PDF. Now we're going to change it. So we're going to go defaults, write, com.apple.screenCapture. The key is type, but now we're giving it a value of PNG. And we can quickly confirm that with a defaults read. Now, while this is all good, we have to open up the terminal each time I want to use the defaults utility. So instead, we're going to open up shortcuts and start building a workflow to do this for us. I'm going to start off by giving it an icon. I'm going to choose this one that looks like a screen and give it some color. Next, we're going to give it a title. Maybe we could call this screen capture, then edit, type, because that's what we're doing. Next, we're going to bring in to our workflow, choose from menu. And what this is going to do, when we go up to our menu bar, choose our shortcut, it's going to bring up this menu interface for us. So let's go ahead and start populating this menu. The first one in our list, it might be ping, and then maybe the second is PDF. We're going to get started with just two. And notice that this brings up a series of conditionals, whether we choose ping or PDF. And what we want to do now is perform an action when the user chooses one of these types. So for example, if they choose ping, we're going to run a shell script. Now this is when we were in terminal within our shell, we ran the utility defaults, write com.apple.screenCapture, and we took the type and we set it to ping. And that's it. Now we're going to do the same thing for PDF. We're going to go over to our inspector view, drag in the run shell script dialog, and we're going to change this to our defaults utility command, where we're going to write com.apple.screenCapture, and the key is type, but the value this time is PDF. And that's enough for us to test this. We get our dialog window, we're going to choose ping as our type value, and then we're going to go into the terminal and see whether or not this works. Let me just clear it. So we're going to provide that defaults utility command read com.apple.screenCapture, and we're looking for the type, and it says that it's ping. So let's go ahead and see if we go ahead and run this again and we change it to PDF. Back into terminal, run that command again, and we see that it's changed to PDF. So it works. Fantastic. Now we're going to go back into shortcuts and we're just going to change things up a bit. I'm actually going to delete this run shell script dialog, and I'm going to take the one that exists for our ping and drag it right outside the menu. Because what we're going to do now is only have one shell script that we're going to run. And instead, we are going to place in a text value for each one of our options. So in this case, for ping, I'm going to type in ping. Then I'm going to assign that text value to a variable. So I'm going to go ahead, look for set variable, and grab that and drag it in underneath our text. So the variable name I'm going to use is type. You could choose anything you want, but that text value is now going to be assigned to the variable type. This will allow me then in my shell script, I'm going to replace that PNG with a string $sign, and you can think of $sign as value of the first parameter of this input. The input in this case is going to be an argument that is passed in as the variable that we defined earlier as type. And by refactoring it in this way, if we made a mistake when creating that shell script, I don't have to go edit it a bunch of different times. I only have one place to do it. So now we just need to go ahead and do the same thing for PDF. I'm going to put in my text box, and then I'm going to need to set our variable value, which was type, and it will automatically assign it to our text value. Now what's left is testing. So we're going to go ahead, run this, and hopefully everything works as expected. We're going to try ping as our type option, go into terminal, check it, looks good. Let's go ahead, back in, run it again, this time choosing PDF as our type, right back into terminal and checking, and it is PDF. So it looks like it's working. Now we can go ahead and populate the rest of our options, which are JPEG and GIF, and then lastly we have TIFF. So I'm just going to go in, quickly add those text boxes and assign those text values to the variable type. Now when we go ahead and run it, let's try GIF, and let's see if it changed it. Back into terminal, running that defaults read again, and it is GIF. So we've done it. We've created a shortcut. Now we want to be able to place that in our menu bar. For this, we're going to go to the information icon, and we're going to select Pin in Menu Bar. If you want, you could even add a keyboard shortcut. Let's go up to the menu bar, and there is our shortcut ready to go. Now, the first time that you run this, you might get a privacy dialog that pops up. So let me go ahead and reset the privacy here and run our shortcut. And we will go ahead and maybe choose PDF. When I click done, notice we get this privacy dialog. I'm just going to say allow, but it is important that we acknowledge that we are running a shell script here. And of course, it has gone ahead and changed that. So there you have it. We have a working shortcut for macOS to change the type of our images saved when we take a screenshot. My name is Mark. Thank you for watching.